Alright lads, so today we are finally getting around to talking about the current end of month banner. Over a week ago at this point, I did ask you lads to give me your opinions on the brand new anime versions of RUKIA, RENJI, and also BYAKUYA. I'm a tad bit late to this, but I know a lot of people have a lot to say about this banner because we did get over 300 comments. It's a banner people expected to be for the anniversary, a banner a lot of us have been waiting for, and as we all know, KLab definitely didn't. It wasn't a home run, is the best way to describe it, right? There's definitely problems with the characters that people want to vent, and that's basically what this video is. I'm definitely expecting a lot of people venting their frustrations of how RUKIA and also RENJI did turn out. Before we do that though, let me give my overall thoughts on the characters now that it has been a week since this banner has come out. Obviously, everyone will agree that BYAKUYA is perfect. He's an example that KLab can actually release really good characters and also be really cool too. But BYAKUYA has not had a good canon character in years, and it feels great finally having that with this particular version. He plays great, he looks great, there's almost nothing to complain about this character. He is definitely one of the few 10 out of 10 characters released in the last 5 years even. Honestly, BYAKUYA is really good. RENJI, obviously, he's just a Brave Battle unit. There's almost nothing wrong with the character per se, besides the fact that he's a Brave Battle unit, right? He does what he wants to do, and he's an overall good Brave Battle unit. It's just that maybe it shouldn't have been Bankai RENJI. And then for RUKIA, she's the one that I have a problem with, right? Because she is someone that I expected to be an anniversary headliner. It's Bankai RUKIA, right? And the idea when we are watching these episodes of 1000 Year Blood War is when a very big moment, a very big fight, a defining character moment as big as someone unlocking their Bankai for the first time, you do expect that hype and excitement to maybe translate into the game with them potentially being a good unit. Like, for example, obviously this upcoming season of 1000 Year Blood War, we are going to be getting Shunsui's Bankai. Now, I personally believe Shunsui's Bankai is a big contender for the 10th anniversary. And it just simply is based off hype alone. And that's the same hype I had for Bankai RUKIA. So, like with Bankai RUKIA, I want to see Bankai Shunsui be an absolutely busted unit and a cool, unique unit on release. With RUKIA, unfortunately, you don't exactly get that. She's a Guild Quest unit, and that's a problem in and of itself, but at the same time, she just has problems. Her SA2 many is her biggest problem. She didn't need a boost, it can't inflict any stat elements, and it doesn't complement her SA1 all that well. The recent end of year banner that we did get, I think is a prime example of how to handle a hype banner, where we got two big named characters, Ichigo and also Yuha. Both of them were very powerful SP units. None of them were specifically designed in Guild Quest, none of them had Guild Quest skills, and then the Brave Battle character was a less popular character, someone that people didn't mind being a Brave Battle unit. In this case, for this banner, what we got is a really powerful SP unit, and then a okay-ish good Guild Quest unit. RUKIA should have been a powerful SP unit like BYAKUYA, and then in that case, the only thing to really complain about this banner would be the fact that RENJI ended up being a Brave Battle unit. And even then, I mean, it's a sticky one, right? We've been saying for a while now, the problem with this idea of a banner with RUKIA, BYAKUYA, and a lot of people obviously for Esnot, right, is that one of them was going to have to be a Brave Battle unit. Because these characters would never release as a normal end of month banner. They are saving big named characters for big moments, like right now, for example, the anime coming back. You know, a lot of us again expected this to be part 2 of the anniversary, but during these big celebrations, we always have to get a Brave Battle unit, and one character has to take the fall. I always thought it was going to be BYAKUYA, and then Esnot and RUKIA would be the broken SP units, but instead they threw in RENJI here, and unfortunately he took the bite. He's the Brave Battle unit, which really does suck because again, this is also a pretty big moment for him, but we are potentially seeing in the new season of 1000 Year Blood War that RENJI might be doing something. So right now I'm in full copium mode that RENJI and even RUKIA to a certain extent, if they just do one thing, have one attack, one moment, that is enough for them to get another character. So I'm really hoping in Core 3 we actually get a moment with RUKIA and also RENJI, but it's looking promising for a potential new RENJI unit maybe next year. We'll have to see how that does go though. With that said though, let's have a look at what some of you lads have to say in regards to the new banners. So first up we have Zelion saying, I mean the disappointment of RENJI being a Brave Battle unit and RUKIA being, well, Frenzy +2, +3 in Guild Quests. I'm really scared of what they're about to do with my boy Rose. RENJI is out of the picture now, and Bankai Rose will most likely be a mid-month Flurry +1, 2 in Guild Quest unit. Surely not. I mean, I never thought RENJI would be a Brave Battle unit. Surely they won't do Bankai Rose dirty. And that's also the weird thing now, and potentially a good thing about this banner happening now, because a lot of us thought this would be end of year. Right, a lot of us thought, you know, if they weren't doing RUKIA for anniversary, they're going to do it for end of year. That now begs the question, what's end of year going to be? Because now it really can be anything. I feel like the big potential, big named contender right now is Bankai Senjumaru. But it definitely does spice up end of year, because had this banner not happened, this definitely would have been at the top of everyone's list on being the guaranteed end of year banner. And in that regard, right, on the topic of Rose, well, obviously we got our recent mid-month banner with Shinji and also Kensei, but there's no Rose in there, right? And the idea was that they maybe didn't do Rose because they planned to do an end of month banner with Renji, Rose, and also Mask. It would make sense, right? All three characters have a fight together. But now that Renji's been done, Kensei's been done, and Shinji, when do they plan to release Rose? Who are they going to release him with? Mask? Just them two? That'd be kind of weird, right? I'm a Bankai Rose fan. I mean, Rose isn't like my most favorite character, but Bankai Rose is pretty cool. And it's been one of the few Soribas in a era where we're getting a bunch of 1000G Blood Dust Soribas that for some reason we haven't gotten them just yet. And it really feels like maybe they are trying to avoid it. But I have hope. I have hope that Bankai Rose will be done gracefully. We'll have to see how that does pan out though. As long as he's not a Naj unit, I'm honestly perfectly happy. Next up, we have Rukia's SA1 should have been better. I kind of agree. I don't mind the SA1. I honestly think it's fine. It's just that SA1 in combination with the SA2, yeah, should have been better, right? If the SA2 was better, then the SA1 would have been fine. If the SA1 was better, let's say a potential 3000 length beam, then that would have been a lot better for the fact that her SA2 does have a longer cooldown. Rukia should have been given an EX move. I agree, definitely agree. And then Renji should have been a PvE character. I also do agree. At least for a special anime campaign, these characters should have all been busted. Caleb missed a big shot. Again, in that regard, I think Rukia is the only miss, because during these big celebrations, we always get a Brave Battle unit, right? I mean, the anime comeback banner, Chad was a Brave Battle unit. End of year, Orihime. Anniversary, Sergeant was a Brave Battle unit. During these big celebrations that we get every 3-4 months, right? Like the 4 big banners we get in any year is end of year, Golden Week at the end of April, Anniversary Part 1 and 2, and then also sometimes in the middle of September if they can do a big celebration. In this case, they're doing the anime comeback, right? All these big banners have Brave Battle units. It's kind of just the thing they've been doing for years. Not saying that, again, I think Renji should have been a Brave Battle unit. Definitely not the case, but that's just what it is, right? Renji, while we don't want him to be a Brave Battle unit, is a busted Brave Battle unit in that sense. So I really feel like Rukia was just a big miss, because if Rukia was like Byakuya with an EX attack and was amazing, there'd almost be nothing wrong with the banner besides the usual disappointment that comes with any potential unit being a Brave Battle unit. Aaroniero says, why do they like to ruin the fun sometimes? I saw the trailer, I was gassed, and then I saw GQ skills and a Brave Battle unit. Rukia and Renji does deserve better. Definitely agree with that. I cannot express how disappointed I am that Renji is a Brave Battle unit. Making a hype character like Bankai Rukia have GQ skills is the most diabolical thing I've ever seen Caleb do. Like, who saw that and said, yeah, she deserves it? It's weird. It's weird. Again, even in the banner too, even in the banner, right, Rukia is the headliner, but they're not treating it as such. They're treating Byakuya as the headliner, which is just weird, right? Little Chicken says, Rukia's kit looks bad. Her 10 years later version looks better, not gonna lie. I'm counting the soul bomb too. Even though I've been gassing up Bankai Rukia, I think that was always going to potentially be the case. I personally think the new Bankai Rukia has a better soul bomb in terms of graphic appearance, but the thing the 10 years later version has is that she's always going to be cooler because you're actually seeing the Bankai moving around, right? Like, even though visuals have gotten better over time, you know, this new Bankai Rukia that we do get, like in the canon, like in the original Bankai Rukia, she simply can't move. So the original 10 years later version was always going to be better. It's kind of like, for example, the Yumachika that we did get. You know, who cares about Yumachika? But his 2018 unit maybe looks better simply because he's using a better attack. He's using his Shikai. His Shikai has better visuals than the Hado attacks that the 1000 Year Blood War one is doing. And we're kind of seeing the same thing here, right? The 10 years later version was always going to look naturally better because it's actually her using the Bankai. Clear says, I don't care that Rukia is still good outside of GQ. She's not even half as good as Ishin or Yuha, who's almost a year old. And Renji is literally a bot for PvP. These are probably the only 1000 Year Blood War units they are getting for years, and they're just disappointing as hell. And that's why, boys, we're hoping for season 3. Renji and Rukia just need to do one new thing, and we're back on tables of them getting new units. Even at this point, I know people are getting upset with me saying Rukia for anniversary, right? 10th anniversary Rukia is back on the table. Leading up to the 9th anniversary, people said Yuha wasn't going to get a new anniversary character because he just got a broken character almost 6 months ago. With the theory that Rukia maybe could get an original form of Ichigo for the 10th anniversary, you can't say Rukia just got a powerful unit 6 months ago. Because when we're going up to the 10th anniversary, the best thing you can say about Rukia is that she got a somewhat okay character 10 months ago. So anniversary Rukia is back on the table. Hopefully. At this point, it's kind of just a meme now, right? Easily the most disappointing banner of the year, maybe even the most disappointing banner in the history of the game. And obviously, that's just how the characters turned out. History of the game? Maybe, because there was definitely a lot of, high expectations for these characters, right? And I'm sitting here trying to maybe think what banner was maybe more disappointing, but I don't think we've ever had two massive characters kind of get not the best treatment, so I might even agree with that. Now that I think about it though, while editing the video, I would probably say this is one of the most disappointing banners to date. Both RUKIA and CN were just mediocre, and they both got significantly power crept just a month later. For what was the finale of Spirit's arc of you canon characters, they didn't really end on a banner. I was still hyped for this banner. I still, of course, did 25 steps for it. And I'm actually surprised to be having a lot of fun using all three characters, even Renji and Brave Hours. But the potential this banner had all three characters just been on Byakuya's level would have been absolutely insane. If Little Toto becomes a NAD GQ unit or a Brave Battle character, I might cry myself to sleep. It's kind of sad but funny at the same time that we are in this situation where, 4 years ago at this point, the fear, because that was a fear, by the way, that characters could come out and be shafted. Look at 1000-year Blood War Byakuya, 1000-year Blood War Yachiru. More so back then, 1000-year Blood War was put on a massive standard because we only got 1000-year Blood War unit banner every 3 months. They were super limited. The standard for these characters was that every new banner would launch a new meta. These will be the best units. But then characters came out literally dead on arrival. Like Byakuya was terrible. Yachiru was terrible. Ichigo was bad. Yuha was terrible, right? Like even the first original 4 rounds of 1000-year Blood War were bad. If anything, going back to this topic, most disappointing, not banner, but I think most disappointing character of all time is definitely Yuha. Like it was massive that we got Yuha in game and then they ended up making him a Brave Battle unit that was absolutely terrible. But back then, right, there was chances that a character could come out and be dead on arrival. At this point in time, we're fortunately not in a situation like that. Like every character that comes out, especially end of month units, are going to be good. But now the fear is that they're only going to be good in guild quests or brave battles. You don't want that for your favorite units. You want your favorite unit to be as good as Byakuya, for example. So fortunately, we are in a situation like Bankai RUKIA, for example. At least she's good in GQ. At least Renji's good in brave battles. But you don't want that. You don't want that. You want your character to be fun, unique, and cool, like Byakuya. You don't want them to be how RUKIA and Renji did turn out. And yeah, definitely at this point, worst archetype in the game is a NAD GQ unit. I don't want my favorite units to be that. Again, maybe hot take, I'd rather my character be Brave Bows. A character most of you probably know I'm looking forward to is Giselle, right? If Giselle releases, granted Giselle will get 2 characters, same with Little Toto, by the way. She ain't getting 1, she's gonna get 2, a base form and also Vostandich. So if the first unit does end up being a Brave Battle unit, like Meninia, for example, there's always the hope and likely chance they will get second characters. Maybe even seasonals, like we saw with Meninia, Candice, and also Bambietta. The Bambis as a whole, the entire group, are popular, so I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of them do get alternate seasonal characters. But if Giselle released as a NAD GQ unit, I am absolutely gutted. If Giselle released as a Brave Battle character, I wouldn't be as upset as you might think I would be, because, Brave Battles I play every day, and if I get to play as a character I like every day, at least I get a use out of them every single day. It wouldn't be ideal. Again, I take a Brave Battle unit over a GQ bot, but I also would take an SP powerful character over a Brave Battle unit. Imagine waiting for your favorite character just to be a GQ unit. Yeah, it's definitely the biggest fear right now in 2024. And it's dumb too. It really is. I'm over the point. Like, obviously, Guild Quest is a big game mode, but like, all these GQ characters, they can just be good outside of Guild Quest. Like, Rukia could have just had Frenzy free. Like, what, is she going to be broken in Limit Breaker? I mean, if the rules don't fit her requirements, I'm not going to use her anyway, right? These GQ skills definitely are starting to be a tad bit annoying. More so for NAD units, because at least Rukia, Frenzy 2 and 80% SP boost is the standard. Flurry +1 and a higher bruiser value should not be the standard for NAD units in 2024. But like every time we get a banner with a GQ character and then also just a really good SP unit, the really good SP unit always performs better than the GQ unit. Like for example, Byakuya performed way better than Rukia. Ishin performed way better than Misaki. I'm sure there's more examples, but that's just literally how it goes, right? All these GQ characters somehow end up being worse in GQ than an overall good SP unit. And we're not asking for much here, right? Like, people will pull for good units. You don't need to give them specific GQ skills. If they're an overall good unit that's also good in GQ, people are gonna pull for them anyway, right? Like Byakuya, obviously an amazing unit. I pulled for him because he's good in GQ and I needed a good GQ lead. They could have done the same for RUKIA and I would have pulled for her. and actually just been an overall good unit that's also good in GQ, I'd overall be more happy about her character release. Slayer Wick though says, honestly, this should have been an anniversary banner. I mean, this one even got a trailer. I'm very excited about it, but the problem is the fillers. But what can you expect with a 1000-year Blood War banner? But I wonder what their plans are for Master Masculine and Core 2 Esnot now that the Renji is in this banner. At this point in time, since they have gotten away with most of the Sorpers, that's one thing to talk about too. It really does feel like they're avoiding Sternritters. I mean, out of the entire year thus far, we've gotten 3 Sternritters. You know, let's not talk about the swimsuit banner, because that's a seasonal banner, but we got Sangdu, we got Meninya, and then we got Grimmy. 3 Sternritters in 10 months. That's crazy. But in the meantime, we've gotten so many Sorpers. And I've been saying this for like the last month or two, they can only do so many banners with Sorpers before we just start getting Quincy's. And at this point in time, genuinely, how many Sorpers are left for Core 2? Like, the only 2 that come to my head right now is Bankai Rose and Mayuri, and then everyone else is a Sternritter. Giselle, Little Toto, Candice, Bambietta, Zombie Bambietta, Master Masculine, Esnot. And for those that are hyped about Sternritters or Quinties more so, it does potentially look like, not guaranteed, that we might be getting a mid-month with 3 or 2 Sternritter. The reason for that is because we are getting a Quincy ticket, like we just got a Sorper ticket for this end of month. So it looks like Quincy's are finally coming our way, and they definitely can't, you know, skip over them now, because we pretty much gotten like every Sorper possible. But a problem with that is like, is our first Quincy banner in many months going to be a mid-month? I don't know if I want that. I mean, I want Sternritters, I want Quincy, but I want them to also be good too. I'm sure that's eventually going to happen. I mean, you can almost guarantee Mask, Esnot, for example, if that was a banner, one of them is going to be good at the very least, right? You would hope so. We'll see how it does go. But they also do say here, I still wonder if they're going to add Driscoll, Shikai Yamamoto, and Kyoge absorbed with Ion. That Core 1 banner is definitely going to be saved for later. You know, they definitely did skip over a lot of Core 1 characters. Again, Yama vs Yuha, Bankai to go, absorbed Ion, Kyoge, Driscoll, for example. They're definitely going to do them eventually, right? I think they just want to have the occasional banner to go back to when we're working on, like, you know, future cores. Like, you know, maybe this time next year when we're only getting Core 3 characters, maybe it will be a breath of fresh air to get a character or moment from Core 1 or Core 2. And yeah, I'm definitely expecting them to hold out on Bankai Yamamoto. We just got a new Yamamoto, so I don't expect a new one to happen anytime soon. But that's definitely a Core 1 banner I'm waiting for. A Bankai Ichigo, a Yamamoto, and then maybe throw in like Kyoge or something. That'd be a really cool Core 1 banner. The Turt says conflicted. It's not a bad banner, but I feel like it's not as good as it should be. These are very hyped characters, and for both Rukia and Renji to be relegated to Brave Battles and Guild Quests after some of their best moments in Bleach is a bit sad, especially with Byakuya getting the special treatment despite him having the lesser role. Where are the Sternritters, K-Lab? Pretty much what everyone also does agree. I think this is the popular opinion, right? And in topic with that, Constantine says, I'm glad they did Byakuya justice this time around, though I'm kind of scared for his Ika Senjika version now. And yeah, nah. I'm gonna be the biggest Byakuya hater at this point. Ika Senjika, Byakuya, he better be a Najikyu unit, boys. I'm not gonna lie. Although it's probably worth talking about that, right? Maybe some people would say, you know, Byakuya didn't deserve this moment. Byakuya didn't deserve this great character because it's Rukia and Renji's time to shine. Byakuya is going to get a moment later on in Core 4. However, when Core 4 rolls around, you know, the Byakuya character we are going to get, Ika Senjika, is going to be likely paired with, like, Kenpachi and also Toshiro. And that's their big moments too. In that moment, if they did this banner with these 3, would we want Byakuya to get the spotlight over Toshiro and Kenpachi? I wouldn't say so. But then again, you know, the simple solution is that you don't have to shaft characters. You can make them all good. Make them all good, K-Lab. We can. It's okay to have a banner with 3 powerful characters. It doesn't just need to be 1, you know? But yeah, Ika Senjika, Byakuya, I could care less about him at this point, I'll be honest. I mean, it's basically the same Byakuya we just got with a different technique. It's kind of boring, to me personally, over what we also could potentially be getting a new Kenpachi and also Toshiro in his adult form. That's way more exciting, and in all honesty, if there's one character to get the shaft, let it be Byakuya, especially after this new unit. Would love for all 3 characters to be good, but, you know, Byakuya's the one I care less about. Moving on, though, this lad says characters are 10 out of 10. Visuals are 10 out of 10. But in terms of skills and in-game usability, like 6 out of 10. People were expecting Bankai, Rukia, and Renji for Anniversary, and just for both of them to be mid-tier end-of-month units, like, bruh, pretty much, right? Caleb fumbled the only chance of getting a true Bankai Renji. We don't need more Brave Battle units right now, Caleb. Maybe, I think the biggest problem with Brave Battles is that we only get a unit every, like, 6-ish months. I don't mind them picking up the pace for Brave Battle units. Would love to see mid-month Brave Battle units in, honestly. Like, more Brave Battle units, the better, because then that would make the meta healthier, technically, right? More options, the better. So I disagree that we don't need more Brave Battle units. Maybe not right now with these 3 characters. But yeah, true Bankai Renji being a Brave Battle unit is a bit of a yikes. But again, there is the chance that surely, like, if you saw, if for some reason you're living under a rock, the trailer for 1000 Year Blood War and also the opening is heavily hinting that Renji's gonna do something. Renji also briefly appears in the final fight without going into spoilers, technically. So the chance of Renji getting a new unit is still there. Like, I don't think this is gonna be the last Bankai Renji that we get. But that doesn't mean and excuse him being a Brave Battle unit. Bro, I was not prepared. I was about to start saving for Bankai RUKIA for end of year. Now I just don't care about end of year. And I can see why. You know, Bankai RUKIA is here. I know a lot of people are waiting for her. Even if she didn't turn out the way we wanted her to turn out, best believe I was still pulling for a Bankai RUKIA. Come on now. But like I said at the start of the video, that definitely, like I said, spices up end of year characters. Because now who is it going to be? Is it Bankai Senjumaru? I feel like she's the biggest contender. But at the same time, it is possible. And I really hope this doesn't happen. My opinion might change when it does happen, if it does. There is a chance we get Core 3 characters early. Now, Core 3 isn't officially going to start till the 10th anniversary. You know, if we use Core 1 as an example, it ended at the end of the year, and we didn't get Core 1 characters in-game till the 8th anniversary, right? It takes 6 months for us to get characters from the core that we just watched to arrive in Brave Souls. However, like we saw at the end of year last year, they can do characters early if they make the characters now. If they started making the characters a month or 2 ago. If they make them and prepare for them while the episodes are coming out, they can release Core 3 characters near the end of the year. So there is a techno chance that we could see something from Core 3 at the end of the year. The only thing with that is that the anime visuals are going to be present, but the soul bomb is going to be based off the manga panels and not the anime. And that can be a good or a bad thing. You know, if the manga does it better, it results in a better soul bomb. But if the anime scene is way better than how the manga did it, or it's different, that's going to cause some potential inconsistencies with anime characters because their soul bomb would look nothing like the anime. Again, using True Shikai Ichigo's Soulman, for example, you know, his Soulman is based off the manga, it's not based off the anime, and it looks completely different. Not entirely different, but, you know, compared to the other Soulmans where it's almost one-to-one, the end of year banner and also the Senjumaru banner with Kiryu and Ichibei, you'll notice that there are a few inconsistencies. What one is better? I don't know. Why did they do my boy Renji die like that? I mean, Renji be taking L's. Even K-Lab, even Rebirth of Souls don't even want to make a character trailer for him. Other than Renji being a Brave Battle character, I honestly think this banner is pretty solid. Bankai RUKIA having GQ-specific skills is still crazy. Byakuya is sick. Byakuya looks amazing. Finally a good Byakuya after so long. Amazing kit, amazing visuals, and broke the curse of Byakuya units having all except one very crucial skill like Frenzy or Havoc. Very excited for him. But that's about it. Rukia, the fan favorite, and who would have been the best character in the banner, got shafted with GQ skills, a mid-kit, and one terrible killer. Renji got heavily shafted by being made into a Brave Battle unit, and considering the state Brave Battle is in right now, I don't think anyone is really hyped about him or getting him. He's the long-awaited counter to Orihime, but I don't think anyone really takes Brave Battle seriously anymore after the recent update. To be fair, I've actually started to see a bit more positivity about the new Brave Battle update, after like it has sunk in for like 2 weeks. I really wish RUKIA got frenzy-free base and didn't have these unneeded GQ skills, and instead had more damage to stats-affected enemies or something like that. Renji should have been an Aizen level Nat character instead of a Brave Battle only character. That would have been a perfect time to actually give us a really good Aizen Nat character, in all honesty. Yeah, RUKIA should have frenzy-free, because that's the things that she's missing, right? Because she has so many GQ-orient skills, and also again because her SA2 is a boost, she has to get Enhancer and Booster. She's missing crucial skills like damage to stats-affected enemies. She's a character that wants to inflict stat augments, which is great because she has Freeze and also Drain. It gets her 80% SP boost, but once you inflict a stat augment, you're not really doing any more damage. And that's kind of been the standard in this game for like the last year. We've gotten so many characters now that come out that want to inflict stat augments and do more damage to that. So it felt very weird for RUKIA to not have any damage to stats-affected enemy skill. And again, because she has 2 skills related to her boost attack, she also has no devastation, which is so weird. I didn't expect Bankai RUKIA Soulman to be any unique or anything, but, you know, technically the best part about this unit is the Bankai, so you expect it to have a powerful Soulman, but no, she has one of the weakest Soulmans in the game. She has no devastation, no bombardment, no weaker defense, because she's limited on the skills that she can get, and she had to get GQ skills. She had to get Booster and Enhancer. And then because she wants to be used in the Squad Zero guild quest, she doesn't have Soripa, Killer, so when you use your Soul Bomb, all the enemies don't die. It's like besides the fact that she's a GQ unit, like she's also just like, could have been better. There's just things about her that's bad. And if it was any other character, honestly, it wouldn't be that big of a deal, but it's Bankai RUKIA we're talking about. Overall, very happy about the character, but very disappointed with the kits and the unit, except Byakuya, obviously. Yeah, that's a given, that's a given. If they did RUKIA and RENJI like this, and gave them OP skills like Grimmy and Kyogre, at this point, I'll wait for Pepe, since I think he'll be best in BBS. So, surely not, surely not. Are we really at the point now? Where the I mean, you could look at it like that. I don't think that's entirely the case, right? But you could look at it like this. An unpopular character isn't going to sell well unless they are broken. Using Sangdu as an example. No one would have pulled for Sangdu if it wasn't absolutely broken. RUKIA is popular. People are pulling for RUKIA no matter what. So because of that, maybe they don't have to make it as broken as she has to be. Because people are pulling anyway. I don't think that's the thought process over at K-Lab. And I don't think they intentionally do that. I think it's just a mismatch of what happened here. But you potentially could look at it like that. I don't know. With RENJI being placed here, does that possibly mean that Bankai Rose and Master Masculine is a 2-character banner? If so, that would suck for me. That would also be weird too. I mean, I'd be hyped for them to at least be good characters. Like, if it's a 2-character banner and they're both broken, they're both great, sure. I'm happy about it. I don't like 2-character banners if it is end of month. But at this point in time, it's maybe looking like that. If anything, maybe they could throw in a 3rd character. It'd be a bit random. I'm really not sure who they could throw in there. Maybe a Shuhei? Maybe she'll throw in Pepe or something? I would rather than throw in a 3rd random character than it just be a 2-character banner. But right now, it is looking like Rose and Mask are going to be potentially paired together. Someone at K-Lab must hate RENJI. Including this unit, his last 5 characters have been NAD, which is annoying since he rarely gets any seasonals. Yeah, that is kind of weird, right? His last unit, on top of my head, was, what was it called? The New Year's one, right? And he was a NAD unit. At least a good one, but a NAD unit nonetheless, right? His last SP unit was a mid-month character, of all things. And he was actually really good for a mid-month, by the way. He had the transformation mechanic. Really cool mid-month unit. Would have been better if he was at end of month, though, because then he would have aged better. Dragano Frost says, I've been waiting for 1000 Battle Byakuya since he's one of my absolute favorite captains. I'm thrilled to see what they've done with the character, and they've given him the best absolute treatment. EX move, wide range attack, barriers, sprint to +2, complete stats immunity, sharpshooter, etc. Senbuzaka is one of the prettiest Shikats in this series, and I'm happy to see such a graphic special in both Byakuya's normal and special attacks, not to mention his absolutely stunning Sobom as always. That's the one good thing about Byakuya. Even when he does get bad treatment, like his last 1000 Blood War unit, at least it looks cool. It's really hard to mess up a Byakuya, and I don't think they've messed him up that many times. At least on a visual standpoint. I've got enough to do 25 steps, but I think I'll wait for their return, as the character fillable is absolutely terrible, unfortunately. And yeah, that's kind of fair. I mean, to be fair, we are starting to see the new potential pity system, pity ticket more so. You know, step 50, for example, guarantees you a character that you want, any 1000 Blood War unit. Now, not everyone's going to step 50, but you potentially could skip a character with the idea of going all in on your next favorite character that's broken, right? Let's say, for example, I want Bankai RUKIA, but I don't want to pull on a banner because it's absolutely terrible, right? But let's say, for example, the next month. Granted, I don't think this will be the norm, but let's just say it is the norm. Giselle comes out. I'm pulling for Giselle. I'm going for the 5/5 Giselle. I end up getting that by step 50. Well, in step 50, I can then pick Bankai RUKIA. I don't think anyone's going to do that, but you might be able to do. I don't know. You already know what the community reaction is going to be. Yeah, definitely not a positive one, right? Mid-month Shinji being as good, if not better than Bankai RUKIA is insane. And making Byakuya the only good character out of all of them is crazy. And yeah, that is kind of a problem with RUKIA, right? Like, mid-month Shinji, that goes to show how good Shinji was as a mid-month unit. He's competing with end-of-month units. But in terms of usability, I mean, both of them are basically the same. And you would kind of expect more with an end-of-month character. Anniversary character's been a letdown, and now this. I was so hyped when I finally saw them added RUKIA and RENJI, but now I'm contemplating if I'm going to come back. I don't know how they fumbled this bad, if I'm being honest. First time they don't fumble 1000 Battle Byakuya, I'm honestly impressed. RENJI being PvP broke my heart more than RUKIA not getting the broken character treatment. Hopefully, it seems RUKIA will end up playing really well despite the unnecessary handicap outside of GQ. I'm honestly obligated to collect it regardless, but it would be a bit sad if she fails to outperform Paris or RUKIA. So, obviously, this comment was made 8 days ago. I've now played with the character. Obviously, while it's not ideal, she does play relatively fine outside of GQ. In GQ, people's opinion aren't the best. But usually that does happen when you test out a character in Nightmare GQ, unless they are perfect. Rukia's not perfect, right? She has problems. But it also didn't help Rukia that they kind of made her look worse than she actually is, because Nightmare GQ had very awkward spawns. So next time Nightmare comes back, if it does come back, she honestly should perform relatively fine once they just do normal character spawns. But also, most importantly, you're going to use this character in very hard GQ. Very hard GQ is said to stick around. And from the testing that I did do in GQ, honestly, in very hard, she's honestly really good. She was very easily able to get like 45 plus seconds at 1 out of 5, and that was only me doing like 2 attempts. So a sub 50 is definitely possible with Rukia on very hard. So yeah, she is actually a good character in GQ. Just a bit awkward in Nightmare because of how the situation panned out. Parasol Rukia, you know, I think she definitely does outperform her. Granted, they're in different GQs, but, you know, at least Rukia, Bankai version, can do damage on her SA2. So I would definitely say she does outperform Parasol Rukia. If you're going to use Rukia in the place she wants to be used in, she's a very good unit in very hard. Byakuya broke the 1,000 Jibado cars at the expense of the other two units, and it's still incredibly funny to me how hard they fumbled this banner. Also, how much they're trying not to give us stam raters. Yeah, the star thing is just weird, right? But it's coming. Surely it's coming, right? This mid-month, likely stam raters or Quincy's. End of month, I think it might be the vote banner, the seasonal one. And then November and end of year, definitely we're going to get some Quincy's. Hopefully new Quincy's, because the possibility of us getting like an Uryu is there. And like Uryu is cool and all, but like, you know, when I say I want a Quincy Stam Racer, I'm not saying I want an Uryu. I want the new character that we ain't got yet. Rukia didn't get an EX attack, and she's just a regular end of month unit. For such an anticipated unit, I'm not even going to mention Renji being Brave Battles. Like, come on, K-Lab. Merge Master says they're all fire. The prospect of a broken Bankai Rukia being the Annie end-of-year character is what we got back into play in this game. So seeing her be mistreated like this, let alone my boy Renji, kind of made me question whether I want to even give this game any more of my time. W banner, even though I'm disappointed with Rukia, should have at least had an EX attack. But the other units I'm actually happy about, and definitely going for all three. The duality of man right there. Someone's super disappointed, and someone's relatively happy. Master says, I don't know who at Calab hates Rukia, but damn, she won't get a great unit. One of her best moments from Season 2, and you make it a GQ unit that is slightly better than a 3-month-old character. Yumachika just came out, and is the same color. She's the second main character, and absolutely deserved better. And side note, where are the stam rares? Renji's Summon is the best looking, and he should have just been a NAD GQ unit. Definitely disagree with that. I mean, I don't think a GQ NAD character would have been a better situation. I think definitely a Brave... Again, if you're going to be a NAD unit, I definitely prefer being a Brave Battle unit over a NAD GQ. Unless you're like Tenjiro. Tenjiro's a good example of a good unit, because you can actually use them in a lot of weeks outside of his respective GQ phase. If Renji ended up just being a normal GQ NAD unit, I mean, that's basically what mid-months are, right? If I see my favorite character have a high attack stat, they best be Brave Battles or an actual good NAD unit, not a GQ bot. I don't know how to feel about this banner still. Rukia definitely deserved an EX move, and her SA kit doesn't reflect her attacks. She should have had a trap SA3. That would have been kind of cool, but maybe not in combination with a boost SA2, because then she would have had a cooldown problem. If she had a normal SA2, then I think a trap SA3 would have been fine. But Yaki is a great character, but come on, he should have had a homing vortex for the SA2. It's literally his exact attack. I think that's nitpicking, to be fair. I mean, I think Byakuya's honestly fine as is. A tracking vortex would have been great. And in all honesty, we've not had a tracking vortex character since 1,000 Year Blood War Yuha Bark over 10 months ago. So they're definitely balancing who gets a tracking vortex. Now, obviously, we have gotten that technically. We had Ishin and also Gremmy. But I mean like the 960 into a tracking vortex. They're definitely being... especially with the power creep that we've gotten with skills, right? Characters are getting even better and better. They are being a bit picky on who does get that tracking vortex with the 960 part. But then again, they've always been like that, so I guess it's nothing new. But his SA2, honestly, I think is fine. A tracking vortex would have been better, but that would have made Byakuya like the best character in the game. Or like top 3. And then, yeah, Renji should have been the long-awaited power unit we've needed for months. That's also relatively surprising. Again, I wasn't surprised we ended up getting a Brave Battle unit. I did kind of ask for that, because we just got a Brave Battle update. Making a new Brave Battle unit kind of makes sense. But at the same time, we also got an update to farming. You can now farm all 3 items in one quest, and we've not had a farming character since end of month June. So that was also kind of surprising that we haven't gotten a farming unit for a while now. I guess maybe this upcoming end of month might have that. And when we finally get that, hopefully, again, is a power unit. But then again, at the same time, in regards to power units, this new Link Shot Trials quest is super easy. Like, even Yumachika's not bad now in that quest. So I honestly could care less about a power farmer, in my opinion. It would be nice to finally get a unit that gives more drops in all 3 attributes for the power characters. But now, since we aren't playing Inheritance Trials where the quest is inherently harder, whether we get that busted power farmer or not, it isn't that big of a deal, because now all the good farmers are already good and they can clear the content fast. And the drop rates are actually better. But still, we definitely do need that good power farmer. I still want to see it. I would have preferred if this was a whole banner with stun rated with the exact same skills, because Rukia and Renji deserve better, and they should have been SP units with EX moves. I agree. Yeah, if this was a triple stun rated banner, I feel like it would have been definitely... again, it's just a character choice, right? Like, the characters themselves, besides Rukia's SA2, there's nothing bad about them. It's just the character choice doesn't fit what you'd expect them to be. If this was a triple samurai banner, let's say for example Bazby, Bambietta, and also BG9, I feel like it would have been a lot more acceptable. Hypothetically, let's say Bazby was the really good SP unit, that would have been cool. Let's say Bambietta was the GQ unit, maybe it would be annoying that this is our third GQ Bambietta, but we just got a really good Bambietta with the swimsuit version, and then BG9 could have been the Brave Battle unit. Maybe some people would have been upset that BG9 is a Brave Battle unit, but it's BG9, you know? It's kind of like whatever. I feel like that banner would have been a lot more acceptable with the way these characters did turn out. And probably that's like, again, the biggest problem with this banner. Is like these three characters would have been fine if it was just other characters. With RUKIA and RENJI, you kind of expect more. Despite the whole thing with the banner being a letdown, I'm still going to summon, mainly for Byakuya because I've been waiting so long for him to get this version. But that doesn't mean I won't be happy to get RUKIA and RENJI. Atlas Bunches, I absolutely adore them. But I'm a bit mixed about RENJI being a Brave Battle unit because his art is absolutely amazing. I wanted to use him everywhere. Byakuya and RUKIA's artworks are absolutely stellar. All three are beautiful. And I definitely agree with that. I absolutely love the fact that they did bring back the red backgrounds. I honestly think every character should get a unique background, depending on the arc they are from. The Concord trio had Karakura-tan. I would love for every character from Core 1 to have like a ruined soul society. And then of course Core 2, every character getting the red background would be really cool. And then eventually, we haven't seen it in the anime just yet, but Core 3 and 4 are going to have like black purple hue backgrounds. And I would really love to see that in-game. That would be really cool and some really cool artwork and hype units. And the red background just makes the characters look really good. And I'm really glad they brought that back for characters outside of the anniversary. Because as of right now, for 1000 Jibutwa units, the only ones that get special backgrounds are for anniversary. Or I guess in this case, special celebrations like the anime comeback. Byakuya though is the best of the bunch by far, and it's finally nice to see a broken 1000 Byakuya. I don't really fear for RUKIA or RENJI, as I know they'll get a chance of getting cool units like a full Bankai RUKIA or a Yuha fight RENJI. That's true, technically. I mean, yeah, you know, RENJI's definitely getting something new. A full Bankai RUKIA, I guess they could do that. I mean, why wouldn't they do a 10 years later remake, right? So the possibility of these characters getting new units is there. But then again, that's a while away. Like, we're talking like 2026, you know? That's like 2 years away. Because we're not going to get Core 4 till like 2025. Maybe even that. It could be early 2026, late 2025. So that means we're not going to see the characters till like 12th anniversary. Like, sure, the possibility of them getting good units in the future is there, but that shouldn't mean these characters should have bad treatment, you know? Overall, super duper hyped for all three, who are some of my faves, but I also understand the disappointment, and that's basically where I stand. I don't like how it's 3 Swipers. Wish they would group the characters that fight in an episode. I kind of agree with that. That's how I expected them to release these characters. Like, I was very surprised to not see Esno here, but at the same time, every banner that we have gotten thus far, the grouping has made sense. Like, you just look at the title of the banner, and it makes sense, right? Like in this case, Byakuya, RENJI, and also RUKIA. Never thought RENJI would be here, but it is the 3 Swipers that refined. The banner's called Refinement. They trained in the Soul Palace. Now they're here to bite down on some Quincy's. Gremmy versus Kenpachi always see the fight, but there's a theme with those two. The strongest Swiper versus the strongest Quincy. Now that I'm starting to see how they've structured these banners, especially with these 3 being in this banner, maybe it does make more sense. And I completely understand why they went with the idea of Kenpachi and Gremmy being Part 1 anniversary. The Swipers on Part 2. It's the 3 Swipers that, you know, trained and had their Bankai stolen. The only banner that's kind of random was March End of Month with Yumachika, Meninya, and also Rangiku. That was weird, but at the same time, the banner itself is called Reinforcement, and for the most part, they are just reinforcements to bigger fights. Like, none of these 3 characters have any big fights, but they are there briefly to back up the main characters. But to be fair, you know, having banners based on fights would be maybe more ideal, because then we'll be getting a good mixture of Stamrators and also Swipers. Because right now, with the grouping they have been doing, you know, it's come at a problem with us not getting Stamrators. They're eventually coming, but the wait is a bit like, you know, what it does feel like they're avoiding them, you know. Banner choice, amazing. Trailer, peak. Characters, why is RUKIA a booster? I wish he had a better killer, maybe something like Rampage. RENJI, super disappointed. 1000 Jibutwa RENJI with my first 6 stars, so he means so much to me. And I was going to try and 5-5 him, but now I don't really care. Also, why do we have a PvP character when it's only been 2 months? For the record, that isn't the first time this has happened, right? It happened multiple times now, actually. Again, for 2022, we went into Yuha, and then 2 months later, we had Chad. End of year, we had Orihime, and then 2 months later, or 3 months later, I guess, we had Meninya. So it does kind of happen. Again, I've already said it, I don't think more PvP characters is a bad thing. I would love for more Brave Battle units to overall open up the meta. Make it so we're using more than potential 7 characters. So I don't really mind that, but yeah, RENJI shouldn't have been that. Byakuya though, best 10 out of 10, best in banner. On one hand though, why? But on the other hand, he kind of deserves it. He gets iffy treatment all the time. I'll probably go 10 steps because they look cool, but a bit underwhelmed. And with that, I guess we can just scroll down all the way to the bottom to see maybe some comments that were maybe downvoted. That does happen sometimes. But we're probably going to see very similar comments, right? It's an overall banner that could have been significantly more hype. And you might think maybe people are being nitpicky or overreacting. You know, we'll touch upon these comments in a minute. But it's, you know, when you get a character that you've been waiting a long time for, when it's a big named character, your expectations are higher, right? I mean, I get complaints that I'm never complaining about banners. And this is like the first time I've complained because I expected it more. It's the only time I expected more. Anniversary, I was expecting more, and I got exactly that. Anniversary, I was expecting some really good characters and cool characters. I expected Gremmy and Kenpachi to be broken. Likewise with these three characters, more so Renji and Rukia, I expected them to be broken. I expected them to be examples of what K-Lab have to best offer when it comes to brace those characters. Instead, though, that kind of went all into Byakuya. So let's see what this lad says. I think the community is overreacting a tiny bit. These units are best at what they intend to do. And if I want to use them for farming, I can just one-shot everything anyway. And that is a comment I have been seeing people say. And you're kind of right. You're kind of right. But, you know, you can probably understand why people are upset. Rukia shouldn't just be a Guild Quest character. Yes, she's the best at what she wants to be in. But at the same time, we didn't need a replacement for Yumachika. He's kind of good as is. I'm glad we kind of got him replaced, to be fair. I'm sick of using him, and I'm happy to use Rukia over him, but I didn't expect Rukia of all characters to just be an upgrade to Yumachika. Renji, again, I agree, he is, like, there's nothing inherently wrong with Renji as a character, like, he is an overall good Brave Battle unit. But again, the problem is him being Brave Battles, right? I think Renji's visuals are a tiny bit underwhelming. I think I agree with that too. It's mostly because he is a Brave Battle unit and because he doesn't have Havoc. Naturally, if you don't have Havoc, your visuals don't look as good. And I feel like if they did make him an SP unit, they would have put more effort into his strong attack visuals too. Complaining about characters not exactly how you wanted to be is the equivalent of being upset you didn't get the exact toy you wanted as a kids meal. The community claims about everything and it is annoying. You guys want every new character to be overly OP without any future mindset. If everyone is overly OP, there's no reason to sell them for new characters in a year or two. I will agree, the community does complain about everything. I'm not gonna lie, the last couple of so months, the community has been annoying. Maybe that's a hot take. Like, there are things that people complain about that just aren't worth complaining about. I do agree, but then again, that's probably every community, especially if you are as involved as you might potentially be. You see the bad side. You see the vocal minority complaining about everything, right? So I kind of agree with that, but you know, we don't want every character to be overly OP. We want the hype, the important characters to be OP. I didn't care about Tendra and Owetsu being absolutely broken. I didn't care about Toshiro and Sangdu being broken. I didn't care about Yumachika, Rangiku, Mininya, for example, being broken. They kind of got what I expected them to be, right? The only characters I want to be overly broken, best characters in the game, the units that define the year are characters like Bankai Renji, Bankai Rukia, Shikai Kenpachi. Likewise, again, going into Core 3, I want to see a very powerful Shunsui. I don't want every character from Core 3 to be broken, but Bankai Shunsui I expect to be absolutely broken. The new Mayuri, Panida, the new Ichibe that we might get with Yuhabak, maybe even the new form of Uryu. Like, those big moments I expect to be absolutely broken and amazing characters. So I would disagree that, you know, the community is overreacting. And I kind of see where you are coming from, but remember, power creep is a thing too. Even if these characters were overly OP, and remember, this is a special banner, right? It's not a normal end of month. This is an anime broadcast celebration. You kind of expect a tad bit more, right? I mean, even if these characters were overly OP, I mean, so would next year's characters. You would still pull for new characters. And to be fair, there's a lot of people in this game that don't really care about whether characters are broken. They just pull for their favorites. And when you are pulling for your favorites, you don't care how good or bad they are. You just want them to be a tad bit cool. And given that, you know, Rukia is a GQ character, she's missing on some crucial skills that could have made her more fun and more cool. An EX attack, for example. Renji also could have had an EX attack. I was really expecting his SA3 to be his Soul Bomb, but it be a 2-stage charge strong attack, like we saw with Getsugo Jiji show. That could have worked. That would have been really cool. So for anyone that does think the community is complaining a lot or is overreacting, I would say, and this has come from someone that doesn't complain a lot, let them, right? Let this one time be the time we can complain, because this is a banner that people had high expectations for. Let them vent out their stress of how these characters were treated, because otherwise this could happen again. You don't want that to happen again, right? Again, I'm an example too. I've been relatively happy with all the banners that we have been getting all year. There's been a few nitpicks, right? Some misses every now and then. It happens in every gacha game. But this is the one banner I was kind of like disappointed in and shocked in also, like how this ended up being the case. So overall, it seems like the overall community does agree, right? Byakuya, visuals, amazing. Rukia could have been better. Her problem ultimately is that she is a GQ character. And yes, you can use her outside of guild quests, but the fact that she is a GQ unit stops her from being as fun as she could have potentially been. She should have been given an EX attack, her SA2 should have been better, and Renji shouldn't have been a Brave Battle unit. A banner that is serving as a anime broadcast comeback celebration, you expect more than a Brave Battle unit, a GQ unit that is just somewhat better than an already existing character, and a broken SP unit. This banner really should have been, again, like the end of year banner. If Rukia and Byakuya were the broken SP units and both of them were really good, you definitely would see a lot less nitpicking and disappointment. The disappointment would mostly just come from the fact that Renji is a Brave Battle unit. And again, that happens every time, right? I mean, if you've been playing the game for 9 years now, you know, maybe you were here when Arskin was a Brave Battle unit, or Ichibe was a Brave Battle unit, or Yugen was a Brave Battle unit. Kurioshiki, like, it happens. Unfortunately, it happens, but it happens, right? Again, for me, my only problem with this banner is Rukia. She really should have offered more than what she does offer. I'm having fun with her. I'm using her. I'm going to use it in the upcoming Limit Breaker quest. I'm having fun with Renji. It's an overall banner I don't regret summoning. I'm having fun with all 3 characters, but I could have had more fun had Rukia just been a tad bit cooler. But here's hoping for core 3 and 4 to do something cool with these 2 characters. It's our last hope, and right now it's looking promising for Renji because it seems like he is going to do something unique in season 3 or 4 to maybe warrant a new character. And who knows, maybe in the future we could get like a tag team Renji Rukia banner. That would be really cool. With that said though, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Maybe I should have mentioned at the start, but I kind of apologize for letting this sit out for a whole week now. I mean, I'm recording it 8 days out, but I'm not sure when I'm going to upload this. Maybe a day or 2 later because it's going to take a while to edit. But you know, the last week has been quite hectic. We had a lot of stuff going on with BBS, Rebirth of Souls, the anime came back. There's been a lot of excitement coming our way on all 3 parts. We had Soul Puzzle come out too. I've been playing a lot of that. It's been a great time to be a Bleach fan. Likewise in Brave Souls. So with that said, I'm going to hop back on Brave Souls and start playing once more. Hope you guys enjoyed the video though. See you guys next time. Take care and peace.